San Marino has survived every empire that ever tried to absorb it, not through war, not through alliances with larger powers, through a strategy so precise it borders on performance art. No army worth mentioning, no coastline, no natural resources. Yet the Republic has outlasted Rome, Napoleon, Mussolini, and every bureaucratic attempt by the European Union to standardize it out of existence. It is older than most modern nations by over 1,000 years, and it is still standing. Here are 28 facts about San Marino that sound completely verifiable. San Marino traces its founding to 301 AD. That makes it the oldest surviving republic on Earth, predating the United States by nearly 1,500 years. Most countries that old have been conquered, dissolved, or absorbed into something larger. San Marino simply refused. The governing document that runs the republic today is the Statutes of 1600, not a descendant of that document, not a revised edition. The actual statutes of 1600 are still in force, making San Marino's constitution one of the oldest written constitutions actively used anywhere in the world. In 1861, Abraham Lincoln received honorary citizenship from San Marino. It was one of only 2 honorary citizenships he ever accepted. He wrote back, describing the republic as the most honored of governments. A sitting American president, in the middle of a civil war, taking time to correspond with a country of roughly 7,000 people. The entire country covers 24 square miles. You could fit San Marino inside Washington, D.C., with room left over. Despite that, the Republic holds full United Nations membership and fields its own Olympic team. San Marino is the only country on Earth that sits entirely above 700 meters in elevation. The whole state is built on and around the 3 peaks of Mount Titano. There is no low ground, and there is no flat approach. The geography itself is a defense. Completely surrounded by Italy, the Republic still maintains its own customs territory, its own postal system, and issues its own euro coins. Those coins are legal tender across the Eurozone, but they almost never circulate. Collectors buy them immediately. The 2002 and 2003 San Marino 1-cent coins are among the rarest euro coins in existence, with mintages so low that single specimens trade at multiples of their face value. The Republic earns revenue simply by minting currency that disappears into private collections before it ever reaches a cash register. Fewer than 34,000 people hold San Marinese citizenship, placing the Republic among the least populous sovereign states on Earth, yet its gross domestic product per capita rivals Western European averages. A country smaller than many mid-sized cities, generating wealth at a rate that embarrasses larger neighbors. In 1739, Cardinal Giulio Alberoni occupied San Marino by force on behalf of the Papal States. The Republic did not fight back. It lobbied, negotiated, and within months, Pope Clement XII ordered a full withdrawal and restored San Marinese sovereignty. The occupation lasted less than a year. The diplomatic counterattack left no casualties and no concessions. When Napoleon swept through Italy in 1797, he left San Marino completely alone. His foreign minister went further, offering to expand the Republic's territory. San Marino declined. That single decision may have saved the Republic's independence entirely. For most of its modern fiscal history, San Marino has carried minimal to zero national debt. Economists have studied the San Marinese model specifically because the numbers are difficult to explain by conventional metrics. A microstate with no significant natural resources and no industrial base, San Marino has nevertheless remained consistently solvent. But the survival story is only half of it. The political structure of San Marino is where things get genuinely strange. The Republic did not just survive history, it built a system of government specifically designed to prevent the kind of internal collapse that destroyed every larger state around it. And that system has been running, without interruption, for centuries. San Marino has 2 heads of state at the same time, not a president and a prime minister. 2 heads of state, equal in authority, called captains regent. They serve together for exactly 6 months, and they must come from opposing political factions. The system was designed in the medieval period specifically to prevent any single person from accumulating enough power to dismantle the Republic from the inside. It has been running that way ever since. After serving as captain regent, a citizen must wait 3 years before becoming eligible again. Not a suggestion, a constitutional requirement. San Marino is one of the few countries on Earth where term limits are genuinely enforced at the foundational level of government, not debated, not circumvented, just enforced. In 1945, San Marino became the first country in the world to democratically elect a communist-led government. This was not a coup. It was not a revolution. A free election, conducted through the same mechanisms the Republic had used for centuries, produced a communist majority under party leader Ermenegildo Gasparoni, decades before that outcome became politically unthinkable anywhere else in Western Europe. The Cold War had not yet hardened into its familiar shape, and San Marino had already moved. Once a year, any San Marinese citizen can petition the Grand and General Council directly. The mechanism is called the Arengo, and it has existed since the 13th century. This is direct democracy, not a modern reform, but a medieval institution that simply never stopped functioning. San Marino maintains an official crossbow course. The crossbowmen of San Marino are not a ceremonial invention created for tourists. They were the actual military defense of the Republic for centuries. The crossbow was the weapon, and the corps was the army. Today they still exist, still train, and still compete in international crossbow tournaments. They carry a military tradition that most countries abandoned 500 years ago. The Republic technically has a military force called the Guard of the Rock. Its primary function today is ceremonial, but San Marino has never formally declared itself a pacifist state. It has simply not fought a war in centuries, which is a different thing entirely. One is a principle, the other is a record. During World War II, San Marino declared neutrality and sheltered over 100,000 refugees. That number was 3 times larger than the Republic's entire population at the time. On June 26, 1944, British aircraft bombed San Marino by mistake, killing 63 civilians inside a neutral state that had sheltered refugees from enemy forces without discrimination. German forces occupied the Republic shortly after, despite its declared neutrality. The Republic absorbed the occupation, maintained its structure, and emerged from the war with its sovereignty intact. San Marino levies no inheritance tax and no capital gains tax on certain categories of assets. That combination has made the Republic a quiet destination for specific types of European wealth management, not loudly advertised, not heavily marketed, simply available inside a sovereign state with a 1,700-year track record of institutional stability. The political architecture explains how the Republic governs itself, but the daily reality of living inside San Marino is where the facts become almost impossible to believe. San Marino issues its own driving licenses. Those licenses are valid across the European Union. San Marino is not an EU member state. That validity comes from a bilateral agreement that took decades to negotiate, producing a document accepted at every border checkpoint on the continent, issued by a country that does not belong to the bloc. For much of the 20th century, the sale of postage stamps to collectors was a measurable and significant portion of the Republic's national revenue. Not a rounding error, an actual line item in fiscal analyses of the Sammarinese economic model. San Marino printed stamps, collectors around the world bought them, and the Republic deposited the proceeds. A sovereign state funding itself through philately. Approximately 3.5 million tourists visit San Marino every year. The Republic has roughly 34,000 citizens. That is close to 100 visitors for every single resident, one of the highest tourism-to-population ratios of any sovereign state on Earth. The entire country receives more annual visitors than New Zealand, Iceland, or Estonia, countries that are hundreds of times larger. The skyline of San Marino is defined by 3 medieval towers on Mount Titano: Guaita, Cesta, and Montale. All 3 appear on the national coat of arms. All 3 appear on the national flag. All 3 appear on virtually every piece of official Sammarinese imagery. The towers are not decoration, they are the identity. San Marino hosted its own Formula One Grand Prix from 1981 to 2006. The race was not held inside San Marino, it was held at Imola in Italy. The San Marino name was attached purely for commercial and branding reasons, with the full agreement of the Republic. It was a sovereign state licensing its name to a racing event held in another country and collecting the recognition that came with it. The University of the Republic of San Marino was founded in 1985. It offers degrees recognized across Europe. The entire country is smaller than most European university campuses. The institution exists anyway, granting qualifications that carry the same weight as degrees from universities in countries 1,000 times larger. Because San Marino applies different value-added tax rates than Italy, residents of nearby Italian towns regularly cross the border to buy groceries and fuel. The Republic functions as a discount zone embedded inside the Italian economy. Italians drive into a foreign sovereign state to save money on petrol, then drive home. This happens every day. Honorary citizenship from San Marino is genuinely rare. After Lincoln, the Republic granted the honor to only a handful of figures across its modern history. It is treated as a diplomatic instrument of real weight, not a routine gesture handed out at state dinners. And through all of it, across 1,700 years, the Republic has never been conquered, and it has never formally surrendered to any power in its entire history. No other sovereign state on Earth holds that record. A country with no army, no coastline, and 34,000 citizens has outlasted every empire that ever surrounded it. If that's not the strangest survival story in European history, watch this next video and decide for yourself. The Republic is still standing.